Alright, now we got enough time. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to figure out how to clear space off this damn phone. Don't mind my computer over there. It's making a bit of noise, and don't mind the cars outside. I live by a highway, which is dumb. So, these are two Xbox 360s. I have them side by side. I'm gonna do a little comparison on them. I'm not really gonna get into the Halo system very much. You already know why. Because it doesn't work anymore. Very sad. It has red ring at death. And plus this Fat 360 and the Halo one are virtually they're the same console, except one has a different skin on it. And I think it has a different disk drive, which is kind of strange. Don't mind some crinkling sounds or those kind of sounds because I'm sitting on a chair and this chair is very old. But it works. So let's get into this. I'm going to first go over their similarities, as there's not very many actually. These are not plugged in right now, so you won't hear them running, but I'm sure you already know what they sound like running. They're both, well, okay, let's just get into this. Okay, so first of all, they both got the ring around them with a dot in the middle. Same thing with over here. They both got two USB in the front, although how did I do that? Yeah, the spring on this is broken, and I've seen a lot of people with these that have the springs broken. The one down there also has it like that, but I'm not worrying about that. They both got a sync button. They both use disk trays. Neither of them have slot loading drives. The Xbox 360 never had one. They both got two USB on the front. I think I mentioned that. Two USB. I think that's about it. Well, they both have the same AV and HDMI. Yeah. And that's about it. Because now we're gonna get into everything that's different. Let's start off with some internal stuff. Now, I don't know any specifics about their processors or anything. I know this uses a Jasper board, this one uses Manila. So that's basically their internal differences. Don't mind that. I don't know why it's doing that. You notice this is a bit thicker. And that's mainly because the fans are on the back. So because the fans have to be a certain size. Well, fans are pretty big, let's just put it that way. And most of the thickness of this thing comes from that. And this one, because this one has two fans on the back, whereas this one has one big fan on the top here, or on the side, or whatever you, based on what orientation you have it on. This one, touch buttons. Now, I don't know what your guys' opinion is on touch buttons. This one has regular buttons. I don't know what your opinion on touch buttons are. Let me know in the comments what you think. And let me tell you, because the first Xbox I've ever owned, this guy right here. And let me tell you, having one of these for the first time, way back in the day, way back in like 2010 or something, having a system with touch buttons, and when you touch it, it makes a little butting sound. Coolest shit ever. Excuse the language, but seriously, that was the coolest thing ever. It made it feel very futuristic, and then over time, like, you just see it everywhere, and then it gets really annoying because you accidentally hit the buttons. This one's got the memory cards on it. This one also has a broken spring. Not seen on here, so if you have data on memory cards, you're gonna have to move it over to a USB stick and then transfer over here, or you can do it on the cloud. And speaking of the cloud and internet-based stuff, this does not have Wi-Fi. These were never released with Wi-Fi. You had to get an external adapter for it. That's Microsoft for you. This thing does have Wi-Fi built in, though, so that's nice. Hard drive-wise, this thing has an external hard drive. They both have removable hard drives. This thing I find kind of difficult to take out. You get the gist. It comes off the top like that. This is 120 gigabytes. I think you can get them. You think you can get a 250 gig? I am not sure. And whenever I run this thing, it doesn't have internal memory or something. I don't know. This one, it's actually quite hidden. Like, this little vent comes off, and there it is. And you pull it out like so. The connections are very different on them too. Like, that one's like a proprietary port, but this is just SATA or SAS or whatever. Yeah, this is 250 gig hard drive. I can get it to go back in. There it goes. I kind of like this design better though, because I don't know, it just makes it look nicer. Because then it's all hidden in there. Yeah. Alright, so I got them turned around now, but before we talk about that, let's talk about the power bricks. And yes, I have a lot of cars. This brick is absolutely enormous. You can see these are like 120 scale or something. Let me just verify. 124 scale. These are 124 scale cars. You can find them at like your local drugstore or something. Compared to that power brick, it's absolutely enormous. Then we go to this one. You can see it's a lot smaller. And speaking of power supplies and stuff, let's talk about their power connections. This is the slim one. This is the fat one. Very different power connections. See the fans on the back there. They both have Ethernet, which most things do have Ethernet. Both got AV and HDMI, which is neat because the core models of these, and I think the arcades, I don't know if it's the arcades, but I'm pretty sure the core models of this did not come with HDMI. They only came with AV. And this only got one, yeah, it only has one USB on it. Whereas over here, you can see you got quite a few more things. You got a SPDIF connection right there. Or optical audio. You got a Connect port there, and yes, I do have a Connect. Also notorious as the NSA spying device. And you got 3 USBs on the back here. Now let's talk about height. And now you can really see some differences. You can really see height differences here. And now I'm going to attempt to pull this off. There we go. Yeah, you can see. And even without that, it's still very, very tall. Xbox 360, they both say Xbox 360 like that. So price tag, or not price tag, barcode. I must say they both look nice in their own way. Though this kind of plastic look kind of looks a little strange, but back at the arcade models of these just had regular, like the disc trays were just like this, which I think those were just the arcade models. Alright, before we do any startups, I want to mention something, the 360E. Now, if you guys know anything about the Xbox 360's startup sequence, you'll know that on this ring, like The quadrants will light up individually and do this neat little pattern thing. Pretty iconic for the Xbox 360. It's very well known. On the 360E, they just have one little LED that fades in and out and in and out. And it kind of, well, ruins the experience in my opinion. So, I'll start off with the Fat 360. Let's get my TV on here. The keyboard's blocking it. So here we go. Well, hold on. Oh, okay. Alright, here we go. Okay. My TV is doing a bad. Okay. Struggling with... Alright, let's try this again. You'll hear the startup. You can hear how noisy it is. I do like this PowerBook better than the slim one because it's actually a lot quieter. You can barely hear it actually. And yes, I know it can get noisier, but like, it doesn't usually get all that noisy from me. And then with most 360s, if it'll do it, the power light will flash a couple times before shutting off. See? I only did it once. Alright. And now we'll do this one. The thing about this one is that you can really see the dirt and grime that's built up on it. I'm not saying because it's black, because as you can see with my Xbox One, it is very dirty. Alright, here's the part that I love the most. Oh, what the frick? Okay, see, that's why I don't like, that's why I can't stand touch buttons sometimes. Alright, here we go. See, something I like to point out is their disk drives are very different when it comes with their... And yes, I know this is a bullshit game. Sorry, real language once again, but this is a very stupid game. All the Kinect games are really dumb. It's taking its time to start up. There it goes. Yeah, the sensor is started up. So let's listen to this startup. Alright, got this Halo controller here. This may sound noisy, but And we're gonna turn the sound off because this starts playing some weird music. So yeah, it's about the sound level of that. So let's exit out of the game. You can hear the fan on that thing sounds a lot really obnoxious. And actually I'm gonna take the game out of there. What the heck? God, I can't stand it when it does that. So, and I know this is kind of a waste of time, but and this thing likes to get stuck a lot. So, pro tip. Oh, well, I was gonna show you one way to unstick it, but it unstuck itself. One thing that I always liked about the 360 was when you connect a controller, each quadrant lights up. So let's start the game. You hear how much louder it is. It sounds like a jet engine. So you can hear it is pretty loud. A bit louder than the other one. It's actually really noisy. And obviously it won't let me play it on here because it says it requires a Kinect sensor. Not that I would want to play this game anyway because it's pretty dumb. So, yeah, you could hear is a bit louder. Still hear that's not all that loud. Alright, so with that being said, this concludes our comparison of the two 360s, the Fat 360 and the Slim 360. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.